Good afternoon. So my name is Stephanie Fields, the Child Care Business Partnership Program Manager at Action for Children. I welcome you to our Child Care Business Partnerships Building Community Bridges session. In this session, we're going to take a look at and address the provider side of this program initiative. And I just want to say that all information presented will be great for whether you are a child care center director or a family care center, director, financial staff, or any additional program leader you believe that may find this information valuable or this conversation valuable. So we welcome you here. This week we are hosting multiple information sessions. So if you have to step out early today, because I know you guys run busy centers, or if you have another colleague who would like to attend or you would like to have them hear this information, please join us on January 22nd, tomorrow, as well as the 23rd. And you can register on Eventbrite. We'll provide you the links to the next sessions in the chat. So I hope everyone here is a provider. I just want to give that disclaimer. And for those of you who are in the right place, we are excited to have you join us today to learn more about this unique opportunity to support workforce development through childcare benefits while investing back into early childhood education. So today we will cover the following topics. So on today's agenda, we'll look at the vision behind the program. We'll overview Action for Children, our program's goals and objectives, the business partnership program models, the benefits to providers by joining this program partnership, and steps to participate. We'll then wrap up today's session with a 30-minute Q&A. You'll be able to put in your questions in the chat, and then my colleague Emily and I will moderate as well as answer those questions towards the end. So whenever you have a question that pops up in your mind throughout the duration of this presentation, feel free to start putting them in the chat so that we can build upon that and touch bases on those pertinent questions towards the end. So let's talk about the vision behind the program. So many of you probably already know and are very familiar with Action for Children. Action for Children has been operating in Central Ohio for over 50 years as a local child care resource and referral agency. Currently, we cover the counties. We serve Franklin, Delaware, Fairfield, Licking, Madison, Pickaway, and Union counties. As providers, you are likely familiar with our supports for child care professionals, including professional development, business and operations support, classroom coaching, and more. Action for Children also offer free parent programs, including child care referral, parent support groups, prenatal, and kindergarten readiness services to families throughout Central Ohio. We'll drop a link in the chat so that you can learn more about our resources from AFC if you're not familiarized already. So in addition to AFC being one of the primary partners in this program, I just wanted to explain that under the Ohio Department of Children and Youth, Child Care Business Partnerships is supported by 4 child care resource and referral agencies, CCR&Rs, covering Ohio's metro areas. And that includes Columbus, of course, Action for Children, Starting Point, which is located in Cleveland, 4C for Children that's located in Cincinnati, and Preschool Promise in Dayton. If you would like to learn more about our counterparts or to share within your community contacts and networks, feel free to check out our particular website for CCBP, Child Care Business Partnerships, at the Action for Children website. We have tons of information on there for you to kind of tap into and to share. Now, our vision for Child Care Business Partnerships is simple. We believe that childcare is a critical piece of the workforce puzzle. As businesses work to attract and retain employees, access to reliable, high-quality childcare can make a tremendous difference. Childcare business partnerships will connect childcare providers with businesses in Franklin and Licking counties. helping to provide dependable care options that enables parents to work with peace of mind. So through this partnership, we support a healthier economy, stronger communities, and brighter futures with working families. Having you as a partner in this program is essential to its success. Reliable childcare allows working parents to stay focused, productive, and engaged at their jobs, reducing overall absenteeism and turnover in the workforce. Your role is critical in creating that stability and helping families balance their careers and family responsibilities. We hope that with this partnership, it opens up new opportunities for you to expand your reach as a childcare business, secure steady enrollment, and deepen your community impact. So let's go into the goals and the program objectives. The Childcare Business Partnership Pilot um, consists of 3 years. We are a 3-year pilot with our first 2 years with the split investment from both the employer as well as Action for Children. And then that also includes you to be a part of that. But our overall pilot has three main goals. Of course, business partnerships, providing flexible care arrangements, and then also building on that community support. So business partnerships, what we will do as Action for Children, as your base agency, we will connect you with businesses that need childcare solutions for their employees and creating a reliable source of enrollment for you guys. That might look like we will locate the businesses. We will talk to them about this program, which we did last week. They got to hear this a little bit before you guys, and see what is available and how it might benefit their employees and their workforce climate. And then what we'll do is actually look at what their needs are, and then and see if we can connect you as the childcare provider to meet those needs for their employees or their staff. And that means that we are assessing that business's needs, particularly through an assessment, and then we will be able to match you up with the appropriate one that might work out where you both would be perfect fits for each other. For flexible care, parents who work non-traditional hours often need flexible childcare schedules, and we'll work with you to identify how your services can meet those needs. And you guys probably already know with your clients, with your families that you work with, one of the hardest things is for families to have to return back to the workforce, but the availability of having a basic 9 to 5 job, sometimes the salary may not be to the point where they want it, and they might seek out a non-traditional hour job. As you all know, in Columbus or in Central Ohio, sometimes those evening hour childcare for evening hours is very hard to find. So that's where we want to tap into our providers, but probably more so our family care providers, unless there's some center providers that are changing their hours due to this need. We would love to connect with you so that we can help those businesses be able to serve those families and those employees. And then finally, the most important thing is community support. In order for us to do the advocacy work to um, let our government, as well as those that are in leadership on the state level, city level, and beyond, know that this is a very major, high focus area that we need to work towards and trying to build some sort of structure or make some sort of change. Regarding the child care centers needing the resource in the enrollment, as well as workforce being able to bolster that up. We need community support on both sides. So participating in this program places you as a recognized community supporter along with AFC, enhancing your reputation as a trusted, high-quality child care provider. So I will go into how we have explained um, the program model under childcare business partnerships. I'll tap into this a little bit later in more detail, but many of you probably have already heard about several states kind of implementing something similar to this and this structure. One of the primary states that have been doing this for the last 3 or 4 years is the state of Michigan with their Tri-Share program. And then in addition, I just learned about in 2022, Iowa also picked up on a similar program such as this. And there's little pockets in every within the Midwest, the South, and in the West Coast, even with California jumping on board of these employer child care share type programs or Tri-Share type programs. So, but with ours specifically here in Columbus, Ohio, and in Central Ohio, the models that we are presenting to our businesses are three models: our priority model, our stipend model, and our custom model. So with the priority model, the businesses will reserve a certain number of child care slots for their employees at your center. The number would vary based on your capacity and the needs of the business. So, for example, as we explain to area businesses, this might look like there might be a childcare center that's around the corner, down the street, that you might want to invest in. And with AFC's investment through the Ohio Department of Children and Youth, as well as the business investing funding as well to support their employees, we would be able to provide that revenue directly to the center to be able to support those families that are enrolled, newly families with those businesses enrolled at your center. So that might be reopening up an infant classroom or a toddler classroom of some sort. For stipend model stipend two, it is a stipend model. We will work with businesses that opt to provide their child care center or their employees child care stipends or scholarships for their employees to supplement the cost of care. So that might look like in the means of, covering 50% of the cost of childcare with a stipend of, it could be about $800 or something like that. Whatever the business decides to do regarding their funding source that they're providing to be a partner with AFC, as well as AFC matching that funding amount to be able to flagship that stipend scholarship program at their business. Then model three is a customized model. What we have presented to businesses is that this is a combination. It could be a combination of first two models. It may work for them where they have a third shift department where there is high turnover because they can't keep anybody, on staff because of childcare being an issue. So they might want to support, 3 or 4 families to go to a family care provider because those hours are available to that family during that time. So that might be an option. And then on the other flip side of it, they might also, those families that, might be able to come in during their first shift, but they need childcare, but they already have a center. They can provide stipends for those families to be able to use at the childcare center of their choice, if not the partnering childcare center that they decide to work with. So those are some options. Those options can also delve into some other things that might be much more on a larger scale, but that would be the discussion between the business and AFC to discuss that, to present that over to you guys as providers as well. So we will collaborate with the business and you as the childcare provider to find the best model and program that fits your capacity and needs for the business. Our primary objective is to help you utilize your existing source resources, not create more work for you. That is why Action for Children is managing the logistics of the partnership. So when I mention managing the logistics, that is looking in the perspective of the funding that comes from the business comes directly to Action for Children. Then Action for Children will make sure that the child care provider that we are working with and as partner with that business get paid for those child care spots. That's removing a whole lot of movement where you have to chase down the business for your payments. It's a very streamlined process that we are going to implement and have that ready so that you don't have to try to look for or and you know when you have an expected revenue is coming in. Um, and that will be done in on a schedule, which if you become a partner, we will go ahead and explain to you when those payment cycles would happen, when those invoices would happen, and when we would get you paid out at the during the month. So we want to make sure that we lift off the logistics of you having to talk to the businesses per hand, and we kind of act like the liaison between the whole partnership. During the 3 year period in pilot, we would continue on that relationship on to the third year, but the overall goal is for the business to maintain a partnership where they are completely funding it themselves to be able to work alongside your child care center to keep this going and flowing. We hope that with this piloted program, we hope that the support of the state will continue. So beyond that 3 years, we don't quite know what that looks like, but we hope that we can plant our feet on the ground and have a successful foundational 3 years where we can show them that this is a definite need in our community. This is a definite need to keep our child care centers afloat, as well as early education thriving to get our children ready for kindergarten and beyond. And this is also very beneficial to our families so that they can have a sustainable lifestyle and be able to take care of their basic needs with gainful employment. So benefits to you guys. I've already kind of discussed this already. So one of the benefits, and I want to point out this, did you know? So did you know that childcare related business benefits are increasingly on the agenda in corporate America? And this is a hot topic. As I explained to you, many states are trying to implement similar programs to this, if not already have them fully functioning. So a care.com survey found that 56% of employers responded that childcare benefits will be prioritized in 2024. We are finding that even in our news, we're seeing that a lot of businesses are returning back to a 5 day work week. So our families have been working remotely or working in a hybrid model up to this point, and they're trying to look for solutions. And so I just feel like this is a as we transition into going back into how we work the 5 day work week, this is the perfect time to be able to let our leadership know that this is something that we need to get flowing and going and have a successful program such as Child Care Business Partnership here in Central Ohio. So the benefits for providers: steady enrollment and revenue. By partnering with local businesses, you can gain increased visibility and reputation. Being a part of this program highlights your role. We will be actively promoting your participation in this program to our network of business partners. By highlighting your strengths, we make sure that businesses understand the quality care that you offer and the additional resources that you guys offer as well. We hope that the benefit will also enhance support for flexible hours. We all know, as I reiterated before, we all know many families need care outside the hours of 9 to 5. For providers who have flexible hours and services, we want to help support you sustain those vital resources and keep those going in your neighborhoods and your communities. And then finally, direct impact on working families. Your participation helps working families succeed and benefit to extend the entire community. So one of the most prominent things I know that you guys are just itching to know about, how do you get started? So how you get started, how do you participate? If you're interested in participating, please contact me by email or by phone. I have right here on this contact page. And then we will also upload in the chat. If you're familiar with AFC's contact provider or contact form, we are also added to that form. So if you are interested today to becoming a partner, we have a handful of businesses that are ready to talk to us and consult with us already. So if you fill out that form, emphasize that you and select CCBP, so Child Care Business Partnerships on that form. You should see the acronym CCBP on there. Select that, and then me and my colleague Emily will reach out to you to see if we could schedule an appointment to discuss with you about your resources that you offer and your hours that you offer at your child care center. Now, I know that you guys are aware that with AFC's, with our information and referral department and everything like that, we have that basic knowledge about your center if you're affiliated with us and how we have worked with you over the years and everything. But I will say and cannot emphasize enough, if there is any way that you would be able to update your child care program profile and portal at this beginning stage of when we're trying to develop those businesses and those relationships and assessing those needs, keeping your profile and your portal up to date is going to be extremely. It may not be live time information, but the most up to date information when we present your center as a potential center for them to work with in this program. So if you can, make sure that you update that on a no, weekly is a lot, but weekly basis or as often as you possibly can, just so that we can share your enrollment numbers, those things like that, as the best way you can. With my, I've I've worked with childcare centers with a similar program, but in higher ed previously, and I know how hard it is to kind of gauge, well, okay, I have an opening today, but tomorrow I may not have this opening. But try, if you could just give us your most recent information, that would be extremely helpful so that we'd be able to work with our businesses regarding that. But yes, we would love to schedule a one-on-one call with your child care center leadership or your family care, if you're a family care owner, to discuss your capabilities, your schedule, and any specific needs or services you may have. I know sometimes it's very hard to come by for families to find child care centers that work with children with special needs. So that is a highlighted area too. So do not limit yourself what extras or what other services or what other skill sets your center provides. Please let us know that as well. Our team will be available for ongoing support to ensure your program success. So what I will do, I want to kick us off on the Q&A because I know you have plenty of questions. And I want to thank you so much for your attention. We hope that you're excited about this program as much as we are and the potential it has for Central Ohio. Now let's open up for questions. Feel free to type in your questions in the chat if you have not already, and I'll do my best to answer them.
All right. Starting off with the first question that's been submitted is how is attendance handled? Is it through Kinder Connect? I assume this is referring to the first model if they like buy out a classroom, for example.
So I know with information and referral, we could probably track that in Kinder Connect. Also, this grant program isn't specific. It's not like PFCC where they have to have a number of hours. Um, that's actually going to be at the discretion of the employer to see how strict they want their funding dollars to stretch. So this person has to be here X, Y, and Z day. But with our program, we don't create that structure. We'll allow the business to do that. But from my experience, I think it would be beneficial for us maybe to have a weekly check-in or every 2 weeks, or maybe not even every 2 weeks, but maybe monthly to be able to get an attendance list from you, just letting us know or print out how many times that they, you know, um, check their kid in and check their kid out. And I think having that documentation will be beneficial to us also in our data tracking, as well as reporting that to the business.
Also, to add on to that, part of what we are facilitating as kind of the middle people in between this program is that we are requiring the businesses to report certain stats. So they will be in ongoing communication with the employees that, like, for example, if you do that first model, that should be showing up. And so with that ongoing communication, we would hope that if the employees are, for whatever reason, not attending or not bringing their children, that they would flag that so that we can address that and maybe shift to a slightly different model or something like that. So it is not solely going to be on you guys to report if somebody is not showing up. We hope that the employee feels comfortable enough to highlight that there's some sort of issue, that this has not been beneficial to them. The second question is, if a provider is part of this pilot program and they're asked to reserve a specific amount of spots to be, are they asked to reserve a specific amount of spots to be held for the business partner?
That would have to go through our consultation process. You would let us know what you would have available first. And then we will be able, you would have to tell us what your need is, what you have available, what you're looking for to have filled, so that we can present that to the business and they can make their decision off of that. Um, it's not stretched out because we would need to have a consultation. So it kind of would be us learning a little bit about you, what your needs are, what your availability is, what that business might want to fill up, and then we report them to them what you have available so that we know if that would be a good fit for them or not. Or they might use your center in another center if there's not enough availability. So the structure would be based off of what their needs are, what you have available from there. I hope I answer that thoroughly.
All right. Can you go into a little bit how a company and a provider could be matched up? Maybe we could go through at least the first two models to kind of explain how, obviously the custom model will be, there's a lot of variables to that, but under the first two models, how a basic match would kind of go.
So a basic match would go where first we consult with the business, we see what their needs are. What we do is once we meet with them to kind of get a feel of the company culture, where they're lacking with turnover, absenteeism, we will provide to them a child care assessment through to their HR department to distribute to their employees or a specific department that they want to focus on. Um, Once that assessment comes back to us, we collect that data. It's anonymous to the business. We collect that data, and then we will send it back to summarize that to send that back to the business so that they can review, so that they can make their decision on what model they definitely want to flagship and go into. Once we do that, and that business distinguish their model, whether it might be the stipend or the priority one model with funding a classroom of some sort, then that's when we will touch bases with you, with whoever has provided an interest form or that connect form on AFC's website. We will already have you guys kind of like create a profile for you guys in our database to tap into, and when we'll make sure that okay, business A is looking for, they're looking for, they have probably like 10 families that need child care center stipends. They already have a center. Their babies are already enrolled. We don't want to uproot any children because we know that that's detrimental to their development. But a stipend model might be sufficient for these 10 families that is working their 8 to 4 shift or whatever. What we would do, whoever their center is, which it could be one of you all on this call, we will go ahead and make sure that we will invoice the business, then we go ahead and we receive your invoice so that we can take those dollars that we matched, and go ahead and pay out those stipends at the amount that the business has specified. So one of the things, the business have the freedom to create the amount of the stipend. The program we're just a funder as well as the logistical piece of the puzzle. So the business is not there's not a oh it's a $1,500 stipend, what have you. No, the business is setting that up. So depending on what their decision on how much they would fund for each family, that's what would be sent out to each one of the providers. Now, if it's a child care center space and they are helping you open up a classroom and they decide to, I'm going to focus on this one center and we're going to send our families here. Um, same difference. It's just not a stipend model. You guys would invoice us to let us know that, hey, well, we would help the business decide, okay, I'm going to focus on those 10 families. And this is those 10 families. How much does it cost for 10 spots? And that those spots might be a full classroom. It might be, you might have 5 infants, 2 toddlers, rest preschoolers. You as a child care center would let us know how much all that tallies up to. What's the cost? You would send us over an invoice to bill us. And then we would take the funds as Action for Children from the business, our funding match to pay those costs for those spots. And payments, what we have set up would be on a monthly basis. Um, Primarily a specific date, probably not later in the month, but more so towards the earlier part of the month. But we would pay for those childcare spaces, and that will ongoingly happen every month for you guys. So that will be the process.
Okay, great. Will payment be based on child, like the number of children served, and what happens for the payment if the child does not attend?
We would still have to pay it out to you. So that's one of the benefits where this is guaranteed. And then when letting us know or letting that, the employer letting us know that, hey, this employee is no longer working for us, or they have been suspended, or whatever might have happened. We would, until we get that cease from the business, or if we hear that from you guys that this person is no longer attending, we will cut that off. But if the person's attendance is very lax, um, the funding match, we will have to address that. That would be an internal thing to work with us, to work with the business to talk about that. But if that person is still an employee and they're just not coming but once a week, we might have the employer might have to have a discussion on how often they're going to use this resource. And that's probably going to be etched out in that consultation in our contract that we work with the business, that this is a requirement. So that decision, I can't really give you an answer because it would be very based off of the business, but you guys still would get paid unless that person is terminated.
Also to add off of that, I think a huge component that is like a major benefit for providers in this instance is that businesses will obviously have more than 10 employees most of the time that need childcare. So if somebody is not taking advantage of this benefit and they're enrolled, there's most likely a employee who has a family who would also benefit from this. So maybe we, take person A out, they are not taking advantage of this opportunity, and then person B is already in line and has a child around the same age or is ready to take advantage of the opportunity. So it really does kind of keep a bank of people who are potential good matches for this program too, on the business side.
Right, because even it's a steady influx of potential clients and families you could work with. Because I can foresee what the business is if at any time that, like Emily said, if someone leaves, they might create a wait list. I don't know, based off of that business decision and how they set up their contract with us. But they the one person no longer needs it. We just roll someone else that would benefit from it, and then we will go from there. But we're not, just to emphasize what Emily is saying, I'm using 10 people as an example. But these businesses that we're working with are well over employed with 100 plus people, if not more, thousand employees. So we want to make sure, I'm just giving that, throwing those numbers out as examples. These aren't small businesses. These are actually very top companies that are in Central Ohio that are trying to work with us or trying to touch bases with this program.
All right. Unless anybody has a last minute question they want to chime in, we know this is also a ton of information, so please feel free to follow the link to submit the form. And again, we will be doing one-on-one consultations with everybody. So if you have a question that is a little bit more geared towards your personal center or family care center, you are more than welcome to address those with us one-on-one, and where hopefully we can answer in less general terms and more specific to you.
Yes, and don't shy away from touching bases with us so that because this partnership is not going to be a one size fit all. It's going to be very unique to both the business and to you guys. So I would encourage you to fill out the form as Emily said, and then we could go ahead and reach out to you and talk to you about things in more detail. But I cannot specify enough if you can make sure that your child care profile and portal is up to date. That also will give us a little bit of information so that we know what questions to ask you, what to kind of clarify when we step foot or before we step foot with some of these consultations with area companies here in Licking and Franklin County. So I know we ended a little early today, but I want to thank you all for your time today and for the incredible work that you do already to support families in your community. Together, we can build a stronger and more supportive network of working parents, businesses, and childcare providers alike. So if you are interested in exploring this opportunity, I would love to hear from you. Emily would love to hear from you. Please reach out to us via phone, email, and I'm going to put up my contact information up there again. There goes that link to that interest form. If you want to screenshot that, type that in or whatever, so that you can go directly to it. Feel free to go ahead and fill that out and reach out to me and give me a call. I would say we probably will start doing follow-up schedules after this week, scheduling some appointments. So don't expect for us to do, because we have two more of these sessions to do. We want to make sure that we give you the information, the content as thorough as possible. But starting next week, we will reach out to those individuals or to those centers, family care centers that are interested to start scheduling some appointments. So I hope you all have a great day.
Sorry,
Feel free to shoot
just to chime
another
in super
question.
fast. It looks like
Yay!
there's a couple of people who are having issues with the link through the chat. We will be sending follow-up emails and make sure that the link is working in there. So this is not our last touch base with you. Anybody registered for this webinar will get an email to whatever email you registered with where we can follow up with you.
I'll show you so you know what you're looking at. It's the AFC contact form for you guys. You definitely want to go to the provider and professional form, and then it will start you out with this general information. I believe on page 2, it'll ask you what program, and then you just want to specify CCBP, us, Child Care Business Partnerships. So hopefully we get that link going. If you want to try again, I would encourage you to do so. And I wanted to show you that walkthrough, and we just look forward to hearing from you. And we hope that we can partner with you soon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Have a great day.